Well, good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hope you guys been having a good weekend. Uh, Not much going on around here today, and I'm not gonna be doing any lives next week because I'm gonna be driving up to Kentucky to go spend time with family. So no lives next week. So I figured, why not do a little pop up live today and check in with everybody, do a little hangout session. But let's jump over to the chat and see what's going on. And we got Will G in the house. Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. And let's see. We got Cruise Nuts in the house. Good morning. Welcome in. Welcome in. And we got PK Korea in the house. Well, welcome in. And we got Z's Gaming and Home Theater channel. Good morning, everybody. Sunday fun day. Well, good to see you, Z. Hope everything's going good with you. And PK Korea says, nice to meet you, host. Well, nice to meet you too. And everybody's welcome here. And, if you're in the chat and you want to drop your link, all you got to do is type in hashtag CVA, and Nightbot will put your link up to your channel. And, make sure you check everybody's channel out in the chat. Support everybody. We're big on support here. But this weekend, let's see, yesterday I had to get up real early and start cleaning the house because I had to get it ready for showing it. I got my house on the market. So, of course, the weekends, sometimes you have people coming by to look. And so, I had to get up, straighten up because, got to make sure everything's good to go when people come to look, make that good first impression. So then after that, I jumped on the road and drove to Lake Charles, Louisiana, and that's about a 2 hour-ish drive from my house, and went over to the Horseshoe Casino and hung out there for a while. Did a little gambling, had some lunch. It used to be, for those people that are familiar with Lake Charles, the Horseshoe used to be the Isle of Capri casino, but then of course they got bought out and they redesigned everything. So it used to be like a gambling boat that they had there, but I think the boat got damaged during one of the storms. But so now they did away with that, and they just kind of built the casino on the pier. But it's a pretty nice place. Didn't really win anything. I mean, I broke even. I didn't win, didn't lose, but I had a pretty good time. And then tomorrow I gotta start getting ready to get on the road and head up to Kentucky, and of course I'll be spending about a week up there, and then when I get back, I'll be back for a few days, and then flying out to LA to get ready to go on the Navigator of the Seas, and that's going to be a nice little 4-day cruise going to Catalina and Ensenada. And I've been to Ensenada before, but I used to be stationed out in San Diego a long time ago, and we drove from San Diego down to Ensenada, and that was a pretty nice place down there. Lots of good food and places to grab a drink. And but I haven't been to Catalina. I've sailed past it. When I was in the Navy, we used to sail up and down the West Coast a lot, and we would pass by there, but I've never been there. So it'd be kind of interesting to see that. And of course, the good thing is at least I'm going there after this big storm, because I guess now they've got this hurricane rolling up the coast out there. So I'm glad I'm missing out on that. And let's go back over to the chat real quick and see what we got going on. And got PK Korea saying that their English is limited. Well, it's no worries, no worries. Like I said, everybody's welcome welcome to my channel. And says, but little understand. And thanks again, everyone in host. Well, like I said, I appreciate it. Anybody that stops in and watches, it means a lot to me. And like I say, I just wanted to kind of do a little pop up live today. And since I'm not going to be on around next week, so, but yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to the cruise coming up, and went ahead and made my specialty dining reservations. So I'm going to be doing Hooked Seafood and Jamie's Italian, and those are two Royal restaurants I haven't been to. Seems like they're pretty good. I don't know. Everybody seems to like them. I've done Giovanni's Table, and I really like that one. They had a really good filet mignon, from what I remember, and it was actually, I thought it was better than the one that I had at Chops Grill. I think the seasonings were a little bit better, so I'm going to be anxious to see the difference, between Jamie's and Giovanni's. See what that's all about, and then Hooked Seafood. Seems like I was looking at their menu. Seems like they got a lot of good options on there. So, definitely gonna check that out. And I did go ahead and purchase the drink package for this cruise, and kind of debated whether or not I was going to do it. But I decided to go ahead and get it. It's just, I get free drinks in the casino, but a lot of times I like to go to the Schooner Bar. I like to go, to the pool bar, things like that. And so, at least this way, I pay up front and I don't have to worry about it. I mean, yeah, it can be a little pricey, but at least you don't have to worry about it. But so yeah, and then let's see, in Catalina, I booked an excursion. It's the casino excursion. I guess there's a big building there that's I guess they call it the casino, and so I'll be taking a tour of that. Looks kind of interesting. And then in the Ensenada, I'm doing the Taste of Mexico excursion, and so they're supposed to take us around to different locations, and you try different drinks, different margaritas, different beers, and shots tequila. Plus, there's tacos and things like that. So I figured that would be a good one, to sign up for, and I'm always down for some good street tacos and some drinks. Should be a good time. And of course, I'm flying out the day before the cruise, and I'll be staying the night before the cruise at the Queen Mary Hotel, which the Queen Mary used to be a cruise ship back in the day, and now I guess it's just more of a hotel / museum. And so I thought that would be kind of interesting, something different to do the night before a cruise. Spending the night on a cruise ship before you go on a cruise seemed like an interesting idea to me. And then after the cruise, I'll be staying the night at the Renaissance Hotel by the airport, and then flying back the next day. So all in all, it should be a pretty good trip. And let's see, jumping over to the chat here. And we got Bruce from Ocean to Ocean Travel. Good morning. Welcome in. Hope you're having a great weekend. And got Irene Vlog, 3 likes done. Host, my friend, how are you? Well, good morning to you. Welcome in. And of course, I'm sure it's probably nighttime or evening time where you are, but I'm doing good. Not too bad. And then we got Destination Fun in the house. Well, good morning and welcome in. And hope you guys are having a great weekend as well. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that trip. And then, of course, after the Navigator of the Seas in October, end of October, going on the Carnival Glory out of New Orleans for the booze cruise. And as there's going to be a lot of different YouTubers on there in the cruise community, and so that's going to be kind of a treat, to meet some of the folks. You watch a lot of different cruise tubers and follow their channels and all of that, and then to actually like meet them in person and it should be a pretty interesting experience. Should be a good time. I'm looking forward to it for sure. And I know that for the first night, I booked the steakhouse, and so far, I think that's about all I've got booked. Of course, I guess I need to, start booking some stuff, some excursions and things like that. And but yeah, that's going to be a good cruise. And then in November, I'm going on the Harmony of the Seas out of Galveston, which is be my first Oasis class ship. Uh, so that's going to be definitely a new experience for me. I've been on some of the Royal smaller ships, some of their older ships. So checking out the Harmony, I think it's going to be a good experience. See the size of it, see how it compares, check out all the different venues, and like I say, that's going to be a 7-day cruise out of Galveston. And then after that, and of course in December we got the Jubilee, and I will be on the second sailing, December 30th. So it'll be a little New Year's cruise, and once again, that's Carnival's newest ship, being one of their XL class ships. So I haven't done one of those, and I think the biggest Carnival ship I've been on so far is the Vista. So this will be a definite change from that, I'm sure. And of course, in January, I'll be on the NCL Prima. Never done NCL, and so I'm definitely looking forward to see how the difference is with them. Seen it, I've watched a lot of vlogs on different NCL ships, and I'm always impressed with their design and everything, the different venues they have, go-kart tracks, things of that nature. So, of course, that's going to be my 50th birthday on that cruise. So, well, it'll actually be after that. My birthday's on the 18th, and we don't sail until 26th, I believe. So, but what better way to celebrate your birthday than on a cruise? And let's see, everybody's saying hi to each other, and so, but yeah, as far as the cruise news goes, I know a lot of people were. Well, there was a couple of big stories, food related wise, and one of them, obviously, I think the biggest one was the whole pizza controversy with Royal Caribbean, and it was an interesting debate to watch. People getting bent out of shape over the pizza, and I can't blame them. I can't blame them. Um, I mean, we've all noticed that the prices on a lot of things going up, and especially with the cruise industry, rates going up, prices of drink packages going up, things of that nature, and then them putting out the survey asking if people would be willing to buy the pizza, and I mean that you had, I guess if you're Royal, you should have expected to get a little bit of backlash on that. And now, I mean, I've sailed several Royal cruises, and I've eaten at Sorrento's Pizza, and you know, it's good pizza. I'm not going to say it's the best that I've ever had or anything like that, but um, and then if I had to pay for it, because I did see some people say that if they were to charge for the pizza, that they would never sail, that they would just be out on Royal Caribbean. Now, I don't know that I would go that far. I don't know that I would just not sail on Royal Caribbean, but I think that it'd probably make me think twice about getting a pizza for sure. Because if I know I got to pay for it, then as long as I'm paying, I might consider other options. It might force me to look at some other specialty. I might go to Zuni or something like that, or I might just order from the room service menu. Because if I've got to go ahead and fork out money for Sorrento's pizza, then hey, why not just pay for something else? Maybe I want to get a sandwich or some wings or something. So, but yeah, it was basically a resounding no from everybody, and then of course the CEO from Royal Caribbean had to weigh in on it, let everybody know, hey, don't worry, that that was just kind of a feeler kind of thing. We're not going to charge. Of course, I'm always suspicious of that because then I wonder, because obviously if they were throwing that out there, that means they were looking for some ways to, get some more money. And so that, I mean, they might just go to something else. Maybe they'll raise the price of some spa services, or maybe they'll, uh, raise the price of the drink package another couple of dollars or something. They'll find a way to, get that money if that's what they were really trying to do. So, and let's see, we got the mustard drill weighing in. Do not pay for that garbage pizza. Well, man, coming in with the hot take, as always, Scott from the Mustard Drill. Uh, yeah, I mean, like I say, it's. I'm not gonna say it's the best pizza I've ever had. I mean, think about it. Typically when I go to Sorrento's, it's at the end of an evening, and maybe I've had a few tasty beverages, and so you want that. You got those late night cravings. Grab something, a little late night pizza, and that's typically when I go to Sorrento's. So you know, at that time, it's tasting pretty good. But I don't think I've ever like, oh hey, I'm gonna have lunch at Sorrento's, or hey, I want to eat dinner at Sorrento's. And plus, you go to different ships, you get different experiences. It's just like on Carnival. I mean, because Carnival has Guy's Burgers and Blue Iguana and things like that. And I've noticed that it does kind of, the quality does kind of vary from ship to ship. You might get a Guy's Burger on one ship and it's really awesome, and you go to the next one, maybe not so much. So, uh, and we got Mustard Drill coming back in. Wait, cruise ships have late night tasty beverages? What? Well, I mean, some might say that. Some people that might have been on the Oasis here recently might have had some sangria type drinks. I don't know. I might have seen it on YouTube. I'm not too sure. Uh, you know, they've got there's some different options out there. Different options. Maybe I've been knocking back at some cold ones. I don't know. But yeah, I mean it's the same way on like when I say on Carnival. Usually because they have their pizza place too, and it's usually at the end of the night. Go grab a roll up there. Of course, now usually you go to that line, and if you get up there, between midnight and like 2, 3 in the morning, that line can be kind of long. So, uh, by the time you get it, you're already kind of ready to just eat anything. So, um, but yeah, I think that they definitely made the right decision not charging, and that I think that would have been a disaster if they would have. And then the other food news that I saw was in regards to Carnival and rolling out the new menus that they had been testing, I guess, on the Dream, and with the mixing in the Emerald Selects options, and having some different salad options, dessert options, and things like that. And I was looking at the menus for each, because someone had posted like a sample of those menus for like a 7 night cruise, and they didn't look too. I thought they looked pretty good. I mean, you still had some of the usual Carnival staples. I mean, you're always gonna have the strip loin steak and the chicken breast, and the shrimp cocktail, Caesar salad, and that kind of thing. Um, and then you're always gonna get that chocolate melting cake with Carnival. I mean, they're never gonna get rid of that. And so, but they really, I think, mixing in some new options. To me, I know some people might not be too happy about it, but I don't know. I'm always down for some more options than less options. And and truth be told, I'm not a big main dining room eater myself. I usually, when it comes, at least when it comes to lunch, I tend to gravitate to like either specialty dining or the buffet. For me, the main dining room, I'm all because with me, I'm a solo cruiser, so I'm always cruising by myself, and it just seems like number one, you don't get the best seating sometimes that I've found. Now, maybe some other folks have had some different experiences, and I hope they have had better experiences because it just seems like I always get seated in the worst possible locations, or you get seated next because you know how those little the tables are where it's just like the two chairs. I mean, they usually have those things like pretty close together, and sometimes you'll get seated. I'll get seated next to a couple or somebody else, and I'll say hey to them because I try to be sociable, and especially if I'm going to be sitting that close. I don't want it to be awkward, and I don't know how many times it's like I'll like hey, good evening, how's it going, and then sometimes sometimes they're nice and they'll I'm not saying that they got to hold a in-depth conversation with me, but you try to be cordial. And then sometimes you get that just not even a response, and then it becomes a very uncomfortable silence, and then I'm just trying to eat and get up out of there. So plus it's sometimes the time it drags out a little bit, so that's why I tend to go like either eat at the buffet. Definitely, if I'm on Royal Caribbean, I'll definitely be eating at the Windjammer most of the time. Uh, and then Carnival, I might hit up the Lido Marketplace a couple times, but I always try to hit up the specialty dining. You know, it seems to always turn out to be a better experience doing it that way. And let's see, we got to check the chat here real quick, and the Bud Files making it in. And good morning, welcome to you. And the muster drill, Mike, are you getting double Crown and Acre points for being a solo cruiser? And the answer to that is yes. Yes, I do. Even when I'm using casino offers, which I mostly do with Royal, I always get the double points, and that is that's a definite thing that I love about Royal, um, and it's helping me climb that loyalty status a little bit quicker. And and then if I wanted to, I could book a suite and get triple points. But I mean, of course, I'd have that's going to be a considerable more or bigger cost than doing it the way I do it. But yeah, the double points thing is something I definitely love with Royal. And hey, if you're a solo cruiser out there and you're looking to uh, climb a loyalty ladder, I'd definitely consider going Royal for that. And we got Rock the Boat. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. And of course, everybody's saying hi to each other. So yeah, I back to the food discussion and the main diet. I think it's a good deal. I like the fact that they mixed in some salads with like steak or chicken or shrimp or whatever. Because myself, I've tried to incorporate eating more salads and trying to eat a little bit more healthy. I mean, I'm not a total health nut or anything crazy like that, but I'm trying to keep the weight down, which is better for my knees, better for my back, and things of that nature. So I appreciate having something like that, and the Emerald Selects options that they had looked pretty good from what I saw, and so and I'll be on the Glory. Well, I'll be on the Glory on for the Booze Cruise in October, and then on the Jubilee for December. So I'll definitely go to the main dining room at least once and check that out and see how that goes. Um, but yeah, so those were the two big stories that I saw. Of course, right now you got this whole uh, hurricane situation on the West Coast. Seems to be rolling up the coast from Baja up through California, and seems like that's gonna create some issues for some of the cruises out there. Luckily, I'm getting there after all that, so I was kind of worried when I heard about that story. I was checking my emails to make sure Royal hadn't canceled anything or anything like that, but seems to be good to go. Hopefully it'll roll through pretty quick, and hopefully if there are any damages, it'll be minimal. You know, don't need any more natural disasters out there for sure. And back to the chat from the muster drill. Every night on Oasis, I looked at the MDR menu and it was meh. So I ate in the jammer, except on Thursday when I ate at Portside Barbecue. Well, yeah, and that's a good strategy. I just for me, the Windjammer, they offer plenty of options for from my experience. I know I've heard some people kind of poo poo on it a little bit, but all the royal ships that I've been on when I went to the Windjammer, there's a little bit a little bit of something for everybody, and they usually have a lot of grilled stuff that I like. They have the little thing with the grilled vegetables, like the zucchini and the squash and all that, and then they'll have like some grilled steaks and stuff. And so, that's perfect for me. And of course, I like the fact you can pick your seating. They usually have plenty of seating to go by, and so that's kind of my go-to for them. On Carnival, the Lido Marketplace. Now the ships that I've been on, and again, I haven't been on the XL class for Carnival, but the Lido Marketplace experience for me, uh, I haven't been very impressed with. It seems like, I'm not saying that the food is bad. It just seems like the number of choices, could be a little bit more. That's just my point of view. And like I say, I've been on a lot of Carnival cruises, but I've been kind of limited, on the ships. I did the Vista 4 times, and I did the Ecstasy, and some of these older ships, and which is why I'm really looking forward to the Jubilee, because I want to see, the newer options that they're bringing out. But yeah, um, I think for me, that's usually my plan of attack for Royal for sure. I almost got the dining package for this upcoming cruise on the Navigator, and I kind of wish I had instead of getting the drink package. And I don't know, who knows? Maybe I'll cancel the drink package and switch over to the meal package, because I don't know. I really enjoy those specialty dining options. I love Izumi. I love chops. I know I've done Jamie's Italian, or not Jamie's, but Giovanni's, and I've always had really great experiences with those. And so it's definitely looking forward to that. But yeah, some of the other things we got coming up. I know I'm booked with the Clock Family Adventures group cruise on the Utopia next September. I know he's doing like the 2 leg. He's doing like the back to back where you get the 3 day and then the 4 day. I'm doing the 4 day because I figured, well, if I'm going to fly out there and I'm going to do it, then I want the longer of the two. You know, and I'm thinking about mixing in, maybe I'll do like a Virgin cruise before or after, or maybe, I don't know, maybe mix in an MSC or something. Since I'm already out there and I'm going to fly, I'm going to be on that out in Florida, might as well try to kill two birds with one stone. I thought about doing the back to back on the Utopia, but I don't know. It's like the same itinerary back to back, which I don't know. I mean, I guess a lot of people do that, and I've never done a back to back, so it would definitely, the experience might be worth it. But I don't know. I'm gonna think about it some more, and then of course later towards the end of next year, I've got the what is it? The Jewel, or actually, I've got the Dream in October, which means it's going to be a 14-day cruise, and it's supposed to go all over the Eastern Caribbean, all St. Thomas, St. Martin, St. Lucia, all those islands, and then Puerto Rico, Grand Turk, Grand Cayman. So that's going to be an awesome one, I think. 14 days will definitely be the longest for me. So we'll see how I feel at the end of that 14 days. Am I still going to be as excited after the seventh day? Am I going to be like, man, like looking at my watch, like, man, is it when's this thing going to be over? I have been on the Dream before. I did what was it? It was a 6 day out of Galveston, and let's see, we went to Costa Maya. Where did we go? We went to Costa Maya. We went to Cozumel, and I can't remember if we went to Belize or Roatan. I want to say we went to Belize, but it's a good ship. And the thing I liked about it, I really like their steakhouse. It's not a Fahrenheit 555. It's I forget the name of it, but it's a very nice restaurant. I mean, the menu's very similar. And I did like the fact that they had the two casinos. They have the regular one, and then I guess they converted like a conference room on the lower deck into the casino, and that one's a non-smoking. So I thought that's a really good feature about the Dream. If you're a Carnival cruiser and you want to have that non-smoking casino experience, then and they did have a full bar down there too. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then they also one thing I like about the Dream versus the Vista, on the Vista, it seems like they have almost a shortage of hot tubs. They've got you know, they've got like two up in Serenity, and then they've got two in the Tides pool all the way aft, but they don't have any on the Lido area. And they did have hot tubs in the Havana area, but that's you got to have access to you got to pay to have that access. So, but on the Dream, they had your typical spots where you have the hot tubs in the Serenity and the Tides pool and the back aft, and I do believe they had some on the Lido area. But then they also had some on the outs on I think it's like deck 5, where you kind of walk around the outside of the ship. They had like I believe two or three on each side. So that was something that I liked about the Dream. Um, so it's an older, smaller ship, but I think going to all those ports is to me that was the draw. 14 days, and because if you're a Galveston cruiser like me, it seems like you're always limited. It's always the same mix of ports. It's always Cozumel, Costa Maya, Roatan, Belize. There might be different variations, different combinations of that, but it's always the same. And not that I'm like saying that those places are terrible, but it's always good to do something different. You want to try something new. And so when I saw that itinerary, I was like, hey man, I need to jump on this, because how many times are we going to have that out of Galveston? So definitely looking forward to that. And then after that, of course, I've got the what is it? The Jewel of the Seas, leaving in December 7th. Actually, it's a 9-day cruise. out of Galveston, and it's and after of course me, I just sit here. I just got through complaining about all the typical ports, but that 9 day cruise on the Jewel of the Seas is the perfect Galveston cruise because it hits all those usual ports. So like Progreso, Costa Maya, Cozumel, Belize, Roatan. So you're hitting all of those in. So it's kind of like the Galveston cruise tour, So I think that that'll be a fun one for right before Christmas to close out the year. And then the Jewel of the Seas. Once again, that's an older, smaller Royal Caribbean ship, but I don't know. I've the smaller ships have kind of grown on me a little bit. And we got Cruise Nuts chiming in here. Start flying in direct to places and staying a while to explore that city. Well, that's something I've been thinking about, and I think I want to start doing. I want to start mixing that in more. I want to start doing more uh, land trips. I mean, I think I'm always in love cruising, but sometimes you do a lot of cruises, and it's like you start to. I'm not gonna say it's gets boring or anything crazy like that, but we go to you hit these ports and you have all these awesome experiences because you go on these excursions and you see things and you get exposed to different things and I'm always like because you go on your excursion and you jump on the tour bus back to the ship and on the way to and the way from you're always seeing all these other cool places and you're thinking man I wish I could have been able to check that out or man I'd like to see that next time and plus there's always kind of a rush with um, when you're on a cruise and you're going to these ports, it's always like, it's a race against the clock. Um, like, man, I need to do this, I want to do that, but man, I know I got to be back at 4. I don't want to miss the ship, don't want to be a pier runner, something crazy like that. But yeah, you're right. I would like to do that, like maybe fly down to Jamaica for a few days, or Cancun, or some of these other folks, or some of these other places, some of these other Eastern Caribbean islands too. So yeah, that's a good point. That is a very good point, and I think I'm going to start looking at that more of an option because I would like to be able to enjoy the nightlife in some of these places because that's one thing about it. You hit these places during the day and it's beautiful and you get to see and do a lot of different things, but you don't get to experience that nightlife. And a lot of these places have different unique experiences during the nighttime. So I think that would be cool to experience. So that's something I'm going to look into for sure. Plus, I would also like to, go to Europe, hit uh, some spots up over there. Go visit, Japan or some of these other places. Um, that's one of the things. When I was in when I was in the Navy, and I would think about, my career coming to an end and retiring. That's one of the things that I wanted to do was travel, and because you do a lot of traveling in the military, especially in the Navy, you're always going different places, hitting different ports, and that's what I liked. That's what drew me to the Navy was those experiences. My dad was in the Navy back in the day, and that's what influenced me. It's because he would tell these. He always had the most awesome stories on these uh, ports that overseas that he was hitting. And as a kid, you hear that, and it sparks that interest. And so that's what got me, wanting to join the Navy. And when I was in it, no matter the the work schedule and the workload they would put on us, and all the sacrifices you had to make. At least hitting those ports, it was like just a little piece of treasure, each time, and it kind of made up for some of that. And so when I retired, that's what I wanted to do is go see the world again. And this time do it as a civilian and not have to worry about, well, gee, I've got to wear a collared shirt. You know what I'm saying? I've got to have my shirt tucked in. I've got to present a clean cut image. And not that I want to be like, uh, dressing like a beach bum or a slob or anything, but that was always, when you're in the military and you visit these places, before they let you go do it, there's always that meeting before the port visit, and it's always impressed upon you that you are an ambassador of the United States, and hey, you got to present this clean cut image, and don't be getting in any trouble, and don't look at somebody the wrong way, and don't be out there cursing, and, this, that, and the other, and so you always like very cognizant of that. And once again, I'm not saying that I want to go to these places and act a fool, but it's nice to be able to just let your hair down, so to speak, and be yourself, and not have to worry about all these other things that are put upon you. Uh, so, and jumping over here to the chat, and looks like we got brave person in the house. Well, welcome in, welcome in. I hope you're having a good day, whatever you're doing. Everybody, I appreciate anybody that wants to tune in and watch me sit here and ramble on. Uh, but yeah, that's the thing about the whole traveling. And plus, I was fortunate to get to live in Greece for a year, and to me, that was like the highlight of my whole 20 years. And I kind of lucked into that. It just so happened that, you know, I don't know. I went to. They sent me to a school, and out of that school, you got to choose the orders to your next duty station. And when the day came for everybody to pick orders, they kind of wrote the different countries and locations on a chalkboard. And as people would choose, things would come off the board. It was kind of like an NFL draft day type situation. And when it came to be my turn, and see, my last name starts with a B. And but in this case, they just decided to go reverse alphabetical order. So I was like the last person to pick almost. And so when it came my turn, there was one thing left, and I wasn't happy with it, and I kind of expressed that, and the instructor kind of picked up on that, and like, oh, you're not happy with your choice, and I was like, no, no, I'm not, and so he pulled me out of class, and, well, where do you want to go, and so I just threw it out there. I didn't even know if we had a base there. I just said, well, I'd like to go to Greece, and he was like, oh, well, all right, well, come see me in my office in an hour, and stormed off. And so I went by. Hour later, I went by his office, and sure enough, they had a set of orders for me to go to Greece, and I didn't know anything. Again, I didn't even know if we had a base there, so I had no idea what to expect, and started asking some people, and of course, they sent me like a little welcome aboard packet with some information in there, but it really wasn't a whole lot. It was just kind of touristy kind of stuff. And then when I flew there, when it was time to go, first thing that happened when I got there is, 'cause at the time I was an E5, um, and so they told me, they're like, well, we don't have barrack space here for everybody, so E5 and above has to live out in town. And so I was like, well, what, and I wasn't prepared for that. I didn't really bring stuff. I had like my, sea bag with my uniforms and just a minimum amount of like civilian clothes. So they referred me to the housing office, and you signed up for they have these tours to take you out in town. And, they would, you sign up to go on this bus, and they would just drive you around to different houses and apartments, and until you saw the one you liked, and then once you saw it, you just told them, and then boom, they would have the lease drawn up. And so I ended up picking a 3 bedroom uh, apartment. It was on this. It was at this farmhouse. It was like a farm basically. And so the bottom floor was the house for the family that lived there, and then the top floor they had converted into a 3 bedroom apartment, and it was really nice. I mean, there was like marble floors all the way throughout, and everything in there was brand new. All the cabinets and things of that nature, and so I went ahead and signed the lease, and but then I didn't have any furniture, and so I told the guys like I don't have any furniture. Plus, when you rent an apartment over there, it doesn't come with appliances. Not like here in the States where you've already got your refrigerator, your stove, and microwave, and all that. There, you have to supply your own stuff. And so, but I told the guy, and apparently over there, they had all the furniture and they had the appliances. And so, and so I told him, you fill out this form. Boom, and then the next day, a truck from the Navy warehouse just shows up, and a bunch of movers come in, and they put in like a brand new fridge, brand new stove, all new furniture, and they furnished. I mean, I was single, so that what they furnished like one of the bedrooms, the living room area, the dining room area. They brought different you know stuff for the kitchen, and they even furnished a washer and dryer, which was crazy. And so yeah, I mean, it was to me that was one of the best, my favorite experiences living out in Greece. And it was actually on the island of Crete, and basically our base was inside of a Greek base, so you had to drive through the Greek base to get to our base, which was kind of interesting. Which brought up different issues sometimes. But if your paperwork wasn't in order, you know, if you were missing something, the Greek guards would not let you through. So you had to make sure you had all your stuff. Um, and then I bought a car over there, which was kind of crazy. I bought like a little Ford. It was like a Ford Escort, 4 door, but it had the steering wheel on the wrong side, which was crazy. And because I was going to rent a car over there, because a lot of people, that's what they were doing. They would rent a car, and you pay so much a month to have this car. But I just happened to run into this guy that he was flying out the next day, and he was like, "Man, I've got to get rid of this car." And so I just asked him, "Hey, how much you want for it?" And he was like, $700. So I gave him the $700. We drove to the Greek courthouse. They signed some paperwork, and next thing you know, now I had a car. So that was, to me, that whole experience living there for a year. Uh, can't beat it. That was definitely the highlight of my career in the Navy, and I guess, and I think that's part of what keeps fueling my desire to keep traveling and everything, is get out and see the world and visit some of these places. But I think I've pretty much rambled on long enough. Sitting here and telling my sea stories. It's definitely not cruising content, but you know, it's it's basically just things that I remember. And Irene, brave person. Well, thank you for that. Appreciate the compliments, but yeah, folks, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up and get out of here. I don't want to monopolize too much of your time this weekend. Um, but once again, appreciating everybody that tuned in. And if you like this video, if you found it interesting at all, and please consider hitting the like button on the way out. And uh, if if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed, and just it's 1,000% free to subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything, and I appreciate it. It helps the channel grow, and I appreciate anybody that watches and subscribes. And with that, folks, I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here and let you guys get back to your weekend. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you on the next video.